Searching for someone who can share that special love with me. And your eyes have that glow. Could it be your face I see on my computer screen? Need a special girl to share in my computer world. Need astrology. Thanks to modern technology. Shoot-a-bop, I wanna love you. Shoot-a-bop, baby. Shoot-a-bop, I wanna love you. Shoot-a-bop, my computer. You know I've been around from hot sexy mamas. Cool prima donnas. I wanna share your treasure, oh so rare. Cause it's your face I see on my computer screen. You keep me warm tonight. Such a sweet delight. I will cherish the memory of this night. Yes, I found my computer. Shoot-a-bop, I wanna love you. Shoot-a-bop, computer. Shoot-a-bop, I wanna love you. Shoot-a-bop, my computer. Digital love, computer love, computer love, digital love, a beautiful love, beautiful love. Digital love, it's just beautiful, digital, beautiful, beautiful love. Hey, my computer. Come here. Computer love. Come here.
Okay, 1 second, everybody. Damn, the volume's loud on this. Okay. Alright, we're ready to go now. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless wonder, the man, Lincoln Clay, coming back at you with a live stream. Haven't been doing too much content lately. I talked about that before. I've been just trying to stay healthy, trying to get my cardio in, and because of that, I haven't been able to do much content on YouTube because I've been extremely tired. But I definitely appreciate the support I continue to receive. So so before we get started, going into today's topic, I do want to say that I'm going to put Live from Wakanda on hold for a couple of weeks. The passing of Chadwick Boseman is still trending right now, and I refuse to be one of those people that put out content trying to get clicks and views off of his passing. Although when I did Live from Wakanda the day he passed, I had been planning to do Live from Wakanda because I hadn't done a show in over a month, and for those who've been following my channel for a while know that I started Live from Wakanda, started that show over a year ago. And so even though I felt like I had as much right to anybody to continue on with my show, I don't want the show to gain views because everybody will think that, when they see Live from Wakanda, it's automatically tied to Chadwick Boseman. So I'm electing to not do Live from Wakanda for a couple of weeks and give all this time to settle down. The people are still mourning his passing. Tweets and posts honoring his legacy is still on the internet all over the place. So I want to give this time to settle down before I resume Live from Wakanda. And I will say that the Live from Wakanda that I did on the day that Chadwick passed was the most viewed Live from Wakanda I've ever done. Even if the minutes weren't there, people still popped in for a second. And I think when the show was over, it had 300 views, which is huge for me because I got a really small channel. And I think when all is said and done, I think it's got about 750 something views. Which, for a Live from Wakanda show, that's the most views I've ever gotten. So again, I want to give this time to calm down before I go on with that. So that's where we stand. I'll be back to doing Live from Wakanda in a couple of weeks. And when I do resume, I definitely have something to show you guys when I do go back to Live from Wakanda. So I do look forward to resuming that. So, okay, so getting into the title of this video. So we'll start from the beginning. I believe a couple of days ago, the new 3000 series graphics cards were revealed, which I knew that I knew the announcement was coming up for these cards, but I really didn't pay much attention to it because I'm happy with with my Alienware PC. It's got an RTX 2070 in it, and in the VR games that I play, it runs them just fine. Even the flat screen games, even though I don't play many of them, it runs them just fine too. So, upon learning that the 3000 cards were going to be revealed, I didn't really think anything of it, but I guess through Jemiah Dixon, he kind of made a guess that the top end card was probably going to cost $1,500. So already knew right there, count me out, because it's just not in my cards to pay that much for a graphics card, especially when I don't have the games to justify how powerful this card might be, because I didn't have no idea how powerful these cards were going to be. So once the information got out there, it was like the internet blew up. It was like the internet broke. So I mean, news of these cards, how much power they have, the prices, overshadowed. It overshadowed any Xbox news that was out there, and damn, and it was like, to me, the from my point of view, it was competitive news to whatever PS5 news might have been coming out. So so I decided to look into it a little bit more, and I seen videos here, tweets there, and so the bottom line, the bottom card, the bottom end card is the 3070. I guess you got the 3070, the 3080, and the 3090. Now, I'm not going to sit here and start talking like I'm Mark Cerny, because I'm not. This is not my department. But I don't have to be Mark Cerny to know that these cards would be a significant upgrade over what I already have. And when I saw tweets and posts of people talking about these cards, and people talking about they're going to get these cards, it was just like Twitter's on fire right now talking about these cards. YouTube videos out there everywhere. So one video popped up in my timeline, and I decided to go ahead and watch it. And the bottom card, the 3070, is supposed to have 20 teraflops and cost $500. So I said, well, I said that's crazy. The bottom line card, 20 teraflops. And when we talking about the PS5 having 10.2, I believe, and the Xbox Series X having 12, even though we haven't seen shit to justify it, I said that's crazy. So that kind of got shit turning in my head. So I went to do a check, and I was like, let me check into the RTX 2070 that I have, and I guess that card is like 9.2 teraflops. If I looked at that shit right on Google. So that, got my wheels turning. And then coming back to Twitter, I'm seeing posts all over the place of people talking about, unloading their 2080 Ti's. It's like, fire sales are getting ready to pop up all over the place of people wanting to get rid of their 2070s, 2080s, or whatever. So originally I was like, yeah, but now my wheels are really turning, and shit, I'm thinking about going one of two routes with this. I did a little bit of research and upgrading to a 3090. I don't think my PC would be compatible with a 3090. Not only that, I was also reading stuff in like Reddit forums where people were saying that because of how tall that 3090 is, it probably wouldn't fit inside of Alienware, because I have an Aurora R8. It probably wouldn't fit inside of there, and they were talking about how the power supply swing out might get in the way of the graphics card, but they were saying that the 3070 should be able to fit in there, and it should not affect the cooling of that PC. So I was like, okay, me upgrading to a 3070, even though that's the bottom end of the card, that would still make me jump from 9.2 teraflops to 20 teraflops. That would still be a huge jump. And so I've been thinking about this for the past couple of days, and I think if I do upgrade, I might end up going one of two directions with this. I might upgrade to the 3070, and then currently I have an i7 9700K in my Alienware, so I'm thinking of upgrading to the 3070, and if it's all this stuff would be compatible, upgrading to an i9, whatever the top processor is, i9, upgrading to that, and I should be good to go. And if I go that route, I would give my son the 2070 that's currently in my PC. Or The other route I could go is just to outright build another PC. You know, and start with one of these 3,000 cards and just get all the necessary pieces that I know for a fact will be compatible with this, so there won't be any issues. I could go that route, and if I go that route, then I would just give my Alienware to my son. So whatever route I choose to go, my son will get the hand-me-downs, so to speak. Whether I give him the 2070 that's in my Alienware, or whether I just outright give him the Alienware, either way, he'll get the hand-me-downs from it. So, some of the other things that I've been seeing on Twitter, it makes me wonder if Sony better hurry up and get up off their ass and start, start getting these pre-orders going and start and give us a concrete date on when the console's going to release. Because some of the things that I've been seeing going around on Twitter is people basically saying that if they don't get something out of Sony or even Microsoft, I don't even know why people included Microsoft in this shit, because they're irrelevant. But people have been mostly saying that if they don't get something out of Sony soon, they're going to divert their money to getting one of these cards. And I don't think it would affect PS5 sales that much, but still, just to hear people say that, there's going to be a couple of people that will opt for getting one of these cards over the console. So, I think that if Sony needs to go ahead and give us these dates and get these pre-orders live. You know what? Here's what I think, and this is just a guess. I'm not in the inside of these sales teams and shit like that. This is just a guess, nothing more. From what I understand, I think these somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe these 3000 series cards are supposed to be coming out in a couple of weeks. If Sony has not given us a concrete date and started pre-orders by the time these graphics cards come out, I think some people will go ahead and divert their money and go ahead and get one of these graphics cards and just upgrade their PCs. And I think that because of the crazy price of this 3070, I think a lot of people are going to be jumping onto this PC train. And that's why I titled it as PC Going Mainstream, because that power narrative shit all of the Xbox been talking and running their mouths about, PC whoop-de-whoop, all this kind of shit. And I guess with the 3000 series cards coming out, it kind of shut their mouths. But when they were running their mouth about that power narrative anyway and trying to throw themselves in the same ring with PC, we already knew that when the next generation of graphics cards comes out, it was going to be, significantly more powerful than what these new next-gen consoles are going to be giving us. So I don't even know why they opened their mouths like that. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But still, in a couple of weeks, when these graphics cards are out, if Sony hasn't given us a date and these pre-orders haven't gone live, some of these people, I truly believe, they're going to go ahead and just buy a graphics card versus, sitting on their ass and waiting for Sony. Some of these people got money that's burning a hole in their pocket, and they want to spend it on something. As far as that goes, the last bit of rumors that were going out was that the Xbox Series X was supposed to release November 6th, and the PlayStation 5 was supposed to release November 13th. If that be the case, there's going to be some people out there that's going to buy a Series X just for the simple fact that they want the newest, shiniest hardware, and that could, still a couple of PlayStation sales. Not much, but only a couple. So that's one of the reasons why I believe that Robert McLeod, old guy in the house, and where's everyone? Still sleeping? Truth be told, Robert McLeod, first of all, I appreciate you being here, but truth be told, my channel's really small, and and I've said that a while ago, that when I made that transition from talking about the console war shit to going over to VR, it slowed my channel down significantly. I would kind of lose a subscriber and then gain a subscriber. I think if I would have kept on with that console war shit, because people love that drama. If I would have kept on with that console war shit, I believe I would have had over 1,000 subs by now. But I chose to go the VR route because I'd rather talk about something that I truly love and I'm passionate about, even if it only gets me one view, than to jump up and just stir up shit, stir the pot, talk about drama for clicks and views. I can't do that. Know what I mean? And that's part of the reason why, like I said, that's part of the reason why I'm putting Life from Wakanda on hold. What I speak, I want it to be true. I don't want to just put shit out there just to get views and clicks and all that stuff, I'm past all that shit. In the beginning, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, when I was caught up in that console war shit, I was looking for any angle to get me views and clicks. But no, I'm speaking on shit that I'm passionate about, and I know that even though these graphics cards have been the hot talk lately, it still affects VR, and that's another reason why I'm talking about this. So, but in any case, I'm still planning on getting the PS5 day one. But I will say this, if they do not deliver with the VR, I'll sell that PS5. Because I'm not getting the PS5 for the next gen games. The flat screen games. Sure, that new Call of Duty looks amazing, and so does that Ratchet and Clank, but that's not the reason why I'm getting a PS5. I'm getting the PS5 on the hope and the belief that we'll get next gen exclusive VR games from Sony. We'll get bigger and better experiences and more online, multiplayer VR games. So, you said PS5 eventually. Right now, I'll put it this way. Right now, the PS5 is a higher priority than me getting one of those graphics cards. But I will say this, because there's a lot of angles to this. If the PS5 comes out, let's say I'm not able to get a PS5 day one, and I have to wait until the second or third wave of consoles hit store shelves. If by the time that happens, we get a clear view of what Sony is planning to do as far as VR goes, and it doesn't sound good, then I'm going to go ahead and go the route of getting one of those cards. Because I think the future of VR is bright. I think because of the Unreal Engine, which I'll get to that shortly, but because of the Unreal Engine as well as these new 3000 cards, it's going to save PCVR. So I'll come to that shortly because, a lot of people were seriously concerned about the future of PCVR because of the success of the Oculus Quest, because that's obviously where the market is as far as VR goes. I say if it ain't AMD, I ain't never touching it. See, again, I'm not Mark Cerny. So I'm not a person to say NVIDIA stuff is trash. I only go with AMD. I don't know. I've had, since jumping into this gaming space, as far as PC gaming goes, I've had 3 gaming PCs. The first 2 PCs were cyber-power PCs that had a Ryzen, I think it was a Ryzen 2700, something like that. A Ryzen 2700. I don't remember exactly what that processor was, but it was like a Ryzen 2700. and it had an RTX 2070 in it, and I was happy with it. But the computer took a shit after 2 weeks. The SSD died in it, and so Best Buy replaced it. I got the exact same kind of PC, and 2 weeks later, that one died the very same death. The SSD took a dump inside that PC. So I said, I'm done with this cyber power shit. And that's when I got my Alienware. And shit, eventually that Alienware PC took a dump. When that one took a dump, this time it was the graphics card that took a dump in it. So, but Best Buy replaced it. I wanted them to total the PC out, because I've got an Aurora R8 and I wanted to upgrade to the Aurora R9, but shit, thank God that didn't happen. Because now this with these new 3000 cards coming out, hey, that changed the game. So so my point being, short story long, is every PC that I had an Nvidia card in it. So I don't know nothing about the AMD cards. I don't know the first thing about it. I mean, shit, I don't really know shit about these Nvidia cards, even though my PCs have had them. So all I know is that, for instance, my son's PC has a GTX 1660 in it, and my Alienware has an RTX 2070 in it. And based on the price alone, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out that the 2070 is a better card than the 1660. So there you go. So with that being said, it's not my place to say, Nvidia's junk. I only go with AMD, whoop-de-whoop, that kind of stuff. So, but I will say that I do know that, like, for instance, I knew like those 2080 Ti's were pretty damn expensive, at least up until now. And I think just as recently as a couple of weeks ago, I looked up the price of my RTX 2070, and that was a $500 card. So now you got the bottom of the line 3070 with 20 teraflops with double the power at the same price. Shit, our wheels are turning. Like, now I don't know, people are talking about the AMD cards are coming and stuff like that. I have no idea how this shit's gonna play out. I have no idea whether this shit's gonna be better. I don't know whether this shit's gonna be cheaper or more expensive. I don't know. All I can do is just sit back and watch and let the experts who know this shit explain it to me. So that's where I stand on that. So, but he said nope, but it has been the way I always been, AMD or nothing. But I will say this though. I think people are getting tired of waiting for Microsoft and Sony. And I think if they don't get their fist out of their asses over the next couple of weeks, I think some people are going to start buying these new cards and just upgrade their PCs. Robert, he said, all I know is I've always had bad luck with Nvidia and always good luck with AMD. AMD worked for me. Nvidia always had issues. Well, as far as the graphics card itself goes, my current Alienware, when that graphics card took a dump, was the only time I've ever had a graphics card issue. Those cyber power PCs that I had, I still don't know shit about PCs compared to some people, but I know more now than I did when I bought my first PC. And looking back at it, I could have went ahead and replaced the SSD in those cyber power PCs because I was definitely happy with them. They worked fine. Games looked good, and I love the pretty colors of all the lights swirling around in the PC and shit like that. I could have just went ahead and replaced the SSD in it and kept moving, but it would have voided the warranty. So it had a warranty. So to me, it made no sense trying to replace the SSD. Send it back and get another one. And then when the second one came back and the SSD took a dump in it, it became obvious that this computer has an SSD issue. This brand of computer. So I was like done with that and was jumped on over to Alienware. But yeah, over the next couple of weeks, I'm definitely going to be checking out like eBay and shit like that, and see how many people start trying to blue light their 2080 Ti's and shit like that. So like if somebody, now don't get me wrong, if somebody throws a 2080 Ti up there for like $200 on eBay, I might try to jump on it. Robert, you said I tried all brands, even Alienware. I only stick with AMD and HP. Totally understand. Hell, HP even ties into these new graphics cards and ties into the Unreal Engine 5. When I go in, because I'm getting ready to go ahead and go into the next issue, the next topic rather. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into that. And that is the VR state, the state of VR right now. For those who are familiar with what's going on with the VR landscape, the Oculus Quest is soaring right now. It is definitely the most sought after VR headset right now. And that is only going to continue to grow because September 16th, I believe, Facebook is expected to have what used to be called Oculus Connect. Now it's going to be Facebook Direct, which is a Facebook Connect, which is basically their version of an E3, their version of a Nintendo Direct. And it is expected, according to rumors and leaks and stuff like that, it is expected that Facebook will introduce a new headset, which everybody is. Oh boy, hold on a second, folks. All right. Sorry about that. So anyway, bottom line is the Oculus Quest is on fire. No question about it. New headsets getting ready to come out at Facebook Connect. Facebook and Oculus are expected to unveil a new headset, which everybody is speculating is a new Oculus Quest headset. Leaks, I guess, accidental leaks from Walmart or something like that suggest that one of the 64 gig version of this headset is going to be $300, and a 256 gig version of this headset is going to cost $400. Now, the $300 headset is going to change the face of VR because it will be the most affordable VR headset on the market, especially standalone. So these things are going to fly off the shelf. Facebook is looking to manufacture 2 million of these headsets just to start off with. So in VR, standalone VR with the Oculus Quest is already starting to soar to crazy heights. Right now it's a situation where Oculus just simply cannot keep up with demand. But you can still see the growth though, because everywhere you go, like any game that's multiplayer, or any game that's any kind of social app that's on the Oculus Quest, you can see the growth because there's screaming kids everywhere. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's a fact. VR chat, first-person shooter games, anything that's multiplayer, you go in there and there's screaming kids in there. And I think this new $300 headset, not only is it going to have massive success, I think it's a strong possibility that this new $300 headset could affect some console sales, because I think there's going to be some people who may opt for one of these $300 Oculus Quest versus an Xbox or a PlayStation. So I truly believe that. Robert McLeod, my HP has an Intel processor and an AMD graphics card, and years later it is still going. I love the HP Omen. Yeah, that I've seen that before. It was like that was one of the gaming PCs that I had considered when I was looking for a gaming PC. But like when I bought my first gaming PC, especially with pre-builts, I had no idea which ones were the good ones and which ones was the bad ones. I just saw that cyber power, looked at the specs, thought the specs was okay. I wanted to make sure it was VR ready, and it was cute, so I bought it. And that was that. So anyway, coming back to this Oculus Quest thing. So I made a short story long, but the bottom line is the Oculus Quest, they can't keep up with demand. Every time these things get on store shelves, they are instantly getting sold and they're gone. It's only going to continue to grow, and that has left a lot of people concerned about PCVR, because with the growth of the Oculus Quest, developers are slowly starting to shift their focus towards the Oculus Quest and not so much PCVR anymore, because if it doesn't already, if PCVR doesn't have the lowest user base already, it will. By this time next year, it will have the lowest user base. We know that there's over 5 million PSVR headsets out there. I think right now the Oculus Quest, I think there's over 1 million of those out there right now. It would be more if they would have been able to keep up with demand. And we know that's going to change. And then there's other headsets out there. We got the Oculus Rift S, which everybody is questioning the future of the Oculus Rift S. Whether Facebook is going to continue to support this headset. We've got the HP Reverb G2. That's coming out. Now it's got 4K resolution that everybody's marveling about, but I also understand that the tracking is not as good as the Oculus headsets. We've got the Valve Index out there for $1,000, and then we got those Pimax headsets, that I think start at $1,500 and could go up to as much as $3,000. So, and then truth be told, PCVR games just don't sell that well. Amazing games like Half-Life Alyx and Lone Echo, this is one situation where those games being trapped on one platform, I think hurts them, because these games, I wonder if the developers even broke even. Because Half-Life Alyx, you can clearly see that this is a high budget game. Same thing with Lone Echo. I think the big difference is I think Lone Echo is about 8 hours of gameplay, whereas Half-Life Alyx is about 15 hours of gameplay. And those games are so high quality, and because they're restricted to a platform where it doesn't have a very big user base, I'm wondering if the devs even got their money back on this game. And another part of this puzzle is you have developers that have developed games for PC VR, and then when they ported those games over to the Oculus Quest, they have pretty much doubled what the PC VR version of that game did. I've looked at some of the ratings to use that as an indicator, and I might see a PC VR game that had a rating of maybe 500, and then it gets ported over to the Quest, and I check the ratings, and it might have over 1,500 ratings. So that's making the VR developers starting to put their focus on the Quest, because that's where the money's at right now. If you want your game, especially if it's multiplayer, if you want your game to have success, they got to put it on the Quest. And because of that, that has made a lot of people concerned about the future of PC VR. They are wondering if PC VR is going to die out, or if it does continue to exist, will we get watered down games because the developers focused on the Quest version of the game? Case in point, the Onward game. Now, I was pretty harsh on the developers about that game, because that was really fucked up the way that went down. The game was a beautiful game in PCVR. And then once the update went live to enable crossplay, the PC version of this game was massively downgraded. And so, in short, the developer basically had to tear down the PC version of the game to make it compatible, to make it crossplay with the Oculus Quest, and then slowly build the graphics back up. And that pissed off a lot of people, myself included. Silent Assassin, what's going on? So this is where I think the 3000 cards and the Unreal Engine come into play to save PC VR. From what I understand about the Unreal 5 engine, developers will only have to build a game once, and the Unreal Engine will scale the game up or down for whatever platform they're trying to move that game to. So we won't see a situation where we get the Quest version of a game and it looks crappy on PC, and we have to wait for the developers to keep adding these patches and keep, adding new coats of paint and adding new coats of wax to it. I think with Unreal 5, that's going to allow them to release a game on the Quest and the PC VR at the same time, and everybody will be happy. We'll have a situation where the PC people will get their graphics, and the Quest people, will still get their version of the game, and there won't be any compromises. At this point, I think the only compromise might be how much gameplay the games will have. Let's see here. Robert McLeod, I like PSVR, but do not care if others do not like it. Totally understand. And then, so a game like, I guess I can use Onward as the example. With Unreal Engine 5, the developer won't have to tear the game down and slowly build it back up to what it used to be. I would like to think with Unreal Engine 5, he will be able to build the game once, and then it'll scale automatically to the Quest or the PC VR. And then that's where these new 3000 cards will come into play, because you'll have the graphics card that'll, you'll be able to see these games in their true beauty, knowing that the developer didn't have to hold anything back in order to accommodate the Quest version of it. So with that being said, I think moving forward, I think with these VR games, I think between Unreal Engine 5 and these new 3000 graphics cards, I think that's going to even allow a lot of these indie developers to make AAA looking games that look AAA. And we'll have the graphics cards with these 3000 cards to pull out the full beauty of these cards. Because right now, the way things are sitting right now, there are some games on PC VR where you can tell that they couldn't fully optimize this game because they had to accommodate the Quest, the Oculus Quest version of this game. So when Unreal Engine 5 hits, moving forward in the future, you're going to get, I think you're going to get the full benefit of these games. So when you take games like Onward and Echo VR, for instance, gameplay-wise, they're exactly the same. Nothing was left out. Nothing was compromised. Everything you can do on the PC version of Onward, you can do on the Quest. It's just the graphics are watered down. But with Unreal Engine 5, the gameplay The mechanics will still be there. It's just you'll get the graphics that depending on what platform you're on. DJ, what is good? What is good? So I'm enjoying my day off. I'm off till Wednesday. So, and I think and when PlayStation VR 2 hits and they give us new controls that kind of coincides with the other ones, because the only, with the PlayStation VR, the only thing people really want with the new controllers, they just wanted to have thumbsticks. And I would like to think that Sony's listening to that. And when PlayStation VR 2 comes out, I would like to think that the whatever controllers they use is going to have thumbsticks. When that happens, and you factor in Unreal Engine 5, the future of VR is going to be very, very bright, because I think again, with the ability to build a game only once and scale it up or down to whatever platform you're trying to put it on, we'll have a situation where no matter what platform you prefer to play VR on, you're going to be able to play that game. So we won't have a situation where in a couple of years, we won't have a situation where a game is available on PC, but it's not available on PlayStation VR because the hardware is too weak, or there's issues with mapping the controllers, or the Quest is too weak, or whatever the case may be because of Unreal Engine 5. No matter what your platform is, I'd like to think that we're going to be able to play the game on any of those devices. Excuse me. So, let me see here. Robert McLeod. Right now, I'm trying to wake up and figure out what the hell people are talking about on Twitter. What the hell is WAP? Oh my God. Yeah. You do your own research on that. I don't even want to talk about that. So, DJ, I think new controllers will come before PSVR 2. Now, something, DJ, that's been a big concern of mine, because myself, I would hope that they give us new controllers first before they give us a new headset. I would hope that they would give us new controllers within the next 6 months. My big concern is, because of the backwards compatibility issue with the current PlayStation VR, this is the way I understand it, that the PS5 will pretty much emulate the PS4 in order to play current PSVR games. So if they come out with new controllers, and these controllers are designed to work as a PS5, will you be able to come back and use these controllers on a PS4 or a current VR game, is what I'm trying to say. I hope that made sense. I'm trying to get this out as best I can. So, for instance, they come out with new controllers, new move controllers, new touch-like controllers. They come out with new controllers. Now, will we be able to use these controllers on Firewall? Will they'll be able to remap these controllers to work on Firewall? Or will it be a situation where these new controllers will only work moving forward on games that's been designed for the PS5? You know what I mean? So that's been a big concern of mine too. Jamal Adams, what is good, my guy? How you been? So I think they will release Half-Life on the PS5 with new controllers using the original headset. I think that's a strong possibility, DJ. Not only that needs to happen. You know what? While we're on it, this was another subject that was on my mind too. And that is the outrage over of learning that more PS4 exclusives are going to be going to PC. There seems to be an outrage within the PlayStation community. And people are saying that if PlayStation goes in that direction, then people are already talking about gearing up to go in the PC direction. Myself, I would like to be outraged about this. I would like to be pissed off about PlayStation bringing more of their games to PC, because I would like to say that yes, that's going to devalue the brand by bringing more more games to PC. But if I would be a hypocrite if I said that, because I am a big supporter of PC exclusives going to other platforms in order to grow VR. With that being said, games like Half-Life Alyx, there's no doubt in my mind that when we get new controllers for the PlayStation VR, Half-Life Alyx is going to go to the PS5. I think Boneworks is going to go to the PS5. And I think Oculus has got some... you doing good? I'm doing pretty good, Jamal. I'm just enjoying my time off. I'm off till Wednesday, so I'm enjoying it. So there are games on the Oculus platform that are dead, and they would get a second life over on the PlayStation VR. Games like Asgard's Wrath, games like Stormland, the Marvel Powers United game. That's a co-op game, and even though that game might be a little bit repetitive, I would like to think that that game would be loads of fun playing co-op with your friends, because the little bit that I played of it, I like it, you know. And those games would get a second life over on the PlayStation VR. But the current state right now, I don't think they could move those games over there right now. But once we get new controllers, yes, they can. When the PS5 comes out and we get new controllers, absolutely they can move those games over there. And they should move those games over there, because it would give those games a second life and it would help grow VR. Silent Assassin, it said, "Are you excited about that Hitman VR?" Initially, I was. I was like this. You know, when I first saw that Hitman VR, I lost it. I lost my shit when I saw that. But upon learning that it will not support Move controllers, at least not in the beginning, that you'll have to use the DualShock 4, I was highly disappointed. But I'm still going to buy the game, and I'm still going to enjoy it, because they're saying right now. So what I think is going to happen is the game is going to start out with DualShock 4. And then once we get new controllers, then I think they're going to map it out. And whatever new controllers Sony comes out with, I think is going to support those new controllers. So you'll have, 6 degrees of freedom, the sixth off. And that's going to make the game that much better. So I'm still going to get it. That's a catch-22, because truthfully speaking, the way things are sitting right now, if that Hitman game supported the Move controllers, your method of travel would be teleportation. And I don't like teleportation. To me, it kind of breaks the immersion. I just don't like teleportation as a method of travel in VR games. And because the Move controllers don't have a thumbstick, more than likely, if Hitman 3 supported the Move controllers, the method of travel would be teleportation. With that being said, as much as I don't like it, the DualShock 4 would be the better move for controller support until we get new controllers. So with that being said, I guess I'll just have to be okay with it. And and I would also be a hypocrite getting upset at that, because, Star Wars Squadron will be out next month. And I'm totally excited about that game. And on PlayStation VR, you're going to have to use the Move controllers. But over on the PC side, it will support the HOTAS flight stick. So I'm definitely excited about that. I'm definitely going to be buying Star Wars Squadron on both platforms. So, Robert, you talking to Jamal? So it would seem, okay, I'll let you guys have that conversation. So Anyway, so that's where I stood on this situation about people getting outraged about PS4 games going to PC. It's not my place to join in that outrage because I would be a hypocrite if I did that, because I think right now for the growth for the growth or even survival of VR, I think we need to because the big thing that everybody was concerned about is with the growth of the Oculus Quest, people are concerned about the future of big AAA budget VR games like Half-Life Alyx, Lone Echo. Will we see those type of games? And I think that moving dead games over to other platforms will give these games a second life. It'll help grow VR. It'll help VR survive, especially until this Unreal 5 thing gets in motion. So I definitely, as far as the VR side goes, I definitely support exclusives going to other platforms. Now, as far as people getting upset about PS4 going to PC, I'm not saying I support it, and I do understand their outrage, but I can't jump in there and be like, oh, fuck Sony. You know, I can't jump in there and do that, because here I am suggesting that Half-Life Alyx should go to the PlayStation VR. And hell, and I'm even suggesting that games like Blood and Truth go to PC to give that game a second life, because that game is dead. They can keep releasing all the DLC they want, you know, because, you know, challenges and horde modes and shit like that, I think it only goes so far. A game like Blood and Truth, as much as I love that game, they can put out as many updates as they want for that game, but unless it's an expansion of the story, I may not be terribly interested in it, because the story is what drew me to that game. With that being said, that game might be dead. But if it were to come to PC, it would get another life. You know, they already traded. You know, Tetris Effect was a PlayStation exclusive. It's on the Oculus platform now. Vader Immortal was an Oculus exclusive. It's on PlayStation VR now. So from what I understand, you know, Vader Immortal, I think for the most part, everybody likes it. I guess they're just complaining about the game being kind of buggy, but the game overall, they're liking it. So we need more of this. You said, Robert, you said the last time I used Move controllers was on PS3 and DJ. I don't really care about exclusive titles. I only own PSVR, but wish the PC guys would play Resident Evil 7, Astrobot, Wipeout Dreams, and the rest. I do think that's... you know what I think is going to happen, DJ? The new Resident Evil Village, or whatever it's called, Resident Evil 8, people are already talking about that that's supposed to get VR support. I think when that hits the PS5, then I think Resident Evil 7 is going to go to PC. Because right now, like Resident Evil 7 is still one of the highest rated games on the PlayStation VR format. Once Resident Evil Village comes out and it has VR support, Resident Evil 7 is gonna go right in the tank, because everybody's gonna be on Resident Evil Village. That's the time to bring Resident Evil 7 over to PC and give this game a second life. And not only that, with the implementation of the touch controllers, the game will be a better experience on PC instead of having to use an Xbox controller to play the game. Games like Astrobot, I don't know, because I kind of think Astrobot has become the mascot for PlayStation VR. The same way like Aloy or Kratos is the mascot for the flat screen Sony exclusives. I kind of think Astrobot has kind of taken over as the mascot for PlayStation VR, because there isn't any other characters on the Sony exclusives that could be a mascot for PlayStation VR. So with that being said, I don't think Astrobot would go to PC. Um, Wipeout? Hmm. I think I think it would help sending Wipeout to PC. I really do, especially if they enable crossplay. If you know what, with Star Wars Squadron being crossplay across all formats, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and then it supports VR on PC and PlayStation VR, that game is going to be huge. Now, if they were to do that same thing with Wipeout and put it across all platforms, hell, even put it on the Oculus Quest, it can be done because Radio G is on the Oculus Quest. You put it on all platforms, PC, Quest, PlayStation, even Xbox. Make it all crossplay. That would give the game new life. So yeah, that's interesting that you bring up Wipeout. Now, as far as Dreams goes, I don't think it would go to PC, but I would like to see it go to PC because with PC being so much more powerful than the standard PlayStation, I think you would see way more incredible shit on Dreams on PC, especially on the VR side, because what I'm seeing in Dreams as far as VR goes is exactly what I predicted. Bottom line is, the better the game looks, the less playable it's going to be, because that PS4 ain't going to have enough power to run a beautiful game. So anybody makes anything in VR on Dreams is going to have to choose. Do you want something that looks ugly and very playable, or do you want something that's eye candy but is not very playable? They bring Dreams over to PC, they'll be able to do both. People will be able to make something that's beautiful and playable, because in real life, VR up until recently, VR was like that. You know, in real life, the better a game looked in VR, the less playable it was. I think games like Half-Life Alyx broke that mold. The game is beautiful. It is very playable. It is very interactive. Amazing physics. Games like Boneworks and Half-Life Alyx, you walk into a room and see objects sitting on a table. You can pretty much grab any one of those objects and throw it, or whatever the case may be. Whereas in previous VR games, you walk into a room and there's a bunch of objects on the table. It's just decorations. You can't grab them. You can't, you can't do anything with it. So, with that being said, if Dreams were to come to PCVR, I think people would be able to do a lot more shit with it. But would Sony be willing to bring Dreams to PC is another question. So, and DJ, also, you said, I think it's all about supporting and promoting VR no matter what platform exactly, because VR is still niche. And right now, for VR to grow, we all still have to work together to grow VR. Now, once VR becomes mainstream and it blows up to the point where everybody is absolutely on board, then we can all break up and start competing with each other. But right now, we all got to work together to support VR. Robert McLeod, I thought Astrobot was the mascot for PlayStation. You could make a case, but I also think it's the mascot for PlayStation VR because Astrobot Rescue Mission was a huge success on the PlayStation VR. Not only that, this new Astrobot game that's supposed to come standard with the PS5, I think is going to get VR support. I don't think it's going to come out the box with VR support. And I think Sony's not talking about it right now because they don't want people to get the wrong message about the PS5. I don't think Sony wants to send a message that the PS5 is going to be a VR console. I think Sony wants people to still understand that the PlayStation 5 is still a flat screen game console first. And I think Sony wants to make sure that's burned into everybody's head and secure that mind share. And then once they know that they secure that mind share, then I think they'll start talking more about PlayStation VR. And so with that being said, I think that maybe a couple of months, 2-3 months after the PlayStation 5 launches, that new Astrobot game that comes with it, I think it will get VR supported. So I think it's just not a matter of if, but when. I think Sony's just being quiet about it right now. So, because I think with the new Astrobot game, if they announce that it's going to be that it would have VR support right now, I think it would send a mixed message, and people would get the impression that this is a VR game, and it would turn them off. But by not mentioning that it's a VR game, that it will have VR support, it's cut and dry. That this is a flat screen game, so those that like play Astrobot will be able to play the game. But I think once the game is in people's hands, and then a couple months later they announce that it gets VR support, then the VR people are gonna come running out of the bushes. Look what happened with No Man's Sky. That game had continued. The game started out, from what I understand, really fucked up. They improved the game over time, made updates, added contents, whatever. And then once it was announced that the game was going to have VR support, look how many VR people came out of the bushes with excitement about No Man's Sky when it was going to get VR support. So here, same thing with Astrobot. We're just waiting to get that announcement that the new Astrobot game will get VR support, and when it happens, all the VR people are going to come running out of the bushes like they did with No Man's Sky. Great Tantrum, what is good? How you doing? So, Robert McLeod, people can make better games in dreams than Microsoft can make a reality. Shit. That's funny. I mean, I want to laugh to the mountaintop, but I'm in my apartment, so, and I don't want to wake everybody up screaming with laughter. But that's pretty damn funny, Robert McLeod. Yeah. And I guess why, I'll switch gears for like 2 seconds and just talk about the situation with Microsoft and the Halo Infinite delay. That Halo Infinite delay, that did not happen because Microsoft realized the game was dog shit. Microsoft was going to try to push that game out there. Did you see that confident smile on Phil Spencer's face when he announced that this is all in-engine gameplay? This is all actual in-engine gameplay for Halo Infinite. And then they showed us that dog shit, and then they got the backlash and the memes, and originally they tried to damage control it, talking about, the media even damage control for them, talking about that this game is going back to its roots and trying to make it look like the original Halo that was on the Xbox One. Well, why the fuck are you building a new console if this is what you're going to make the new Halo look like? They were also making, excuses, talking about this build's only a few months old. Well, what the fuck you been doing for the past 5 years if this build's only a few months old? Talking about that this is on PC, as if it's going to look better once it gets to the Xbox One X. The Xbox Series X is probably going to look worse. But I think the bottom line is, I think they delayed this game because the relentless memes have made Microsoft the laughing stock of gaming. Because people weren't jumping up. There wasn't no backlash about this game. Not, at least not from the Xbox side. The Xbox side was damage controlling it. The PlayStation side was making jokes about it. They weren't outraged. They thought the shit was hilarious. They were making jokes left and right and memes left and right about the shit. But the Xbox side, they weren't saying this looks like dog shit. They weren't saying that this needs to go back in the oven. This needs to be delayed. This needs to be torn down, started over. They weren't saying none of that shit. It wasn't until it actually got delayed that they jumped up. Well, this is the right thing to do. This game needed to be delayed. It was, they saying all that shit after it got delayed. But like I said, if those memes hadn't gotten out of control the way they did, Microsoft would still be trying to push this game and still trying to release it this November when the console supposedly launches. So this wasn't a case of them waking up and seeing the light and like realizing that this is dog shit and we gotta fix it. No. They embarrassed from all the fucking memes. So, if you walking around, with shitty drawers and people keep, start smelling them shitty drawers and keep making jokes about it, sooner or later, you're going to go home and change your underwear. So, to put it a different way, but yeah, that's the case about it. They, these memes have made them the embarrassment, the laughing stock, the biggest joke in gaming. That's the biggest reason why this game is delayed. And the fact that they're talking about, that they're not going to drop the Xbox One support. There's no, as far as I'm concerned, there's no point in delaying this game because I think it's still going to look like the same dog shit. So, Robert McLeod, a few months old, new Halo looks like it's from 2001. Facts, great tantrum. Microsoft is reselling games as new with a rehashed controller sold as new. Yeah, play your favorite games again with prettier graphics. Yeah, only on the Xbox rehash X. Yeah, pretty much. The Xbox Series X should be called the Xbox Senseless X because this box is senseless. It makes no sense. So. Now this is probably normally I'm professional. Normally I try to keep things professional, but I guess this is the one part where my professionalism is about to go out the window. I'm going to say this, and that's going to be that. The Xbox Series X, people are just now saying that the Xbox Series X is DOA. They're saying that it's DOA because of the Ratchet and Clank, because of the Ratchet and Clank gameplay reveal, because of these new graphics cards that just came out. People are making it seem like the Xbox One X is dead because of everything. Not the Xbox One X. The Xbox Series X is DOA because of everything except Microsoft themselves. Ratchet and Clank just killed the Xbox. Oh, these 3,000 cards just killed the Xbox One X. No, Microsoft killed the Series X, not the graphics card, not the Ratchet and Clank display, not the future of gaming show that PlayStation had. Microsoft's poor handling of this entire situation is killing them. That Halo Infinite dog shit that they showed us, that show that they had a couple of months ago where they showed all these games, including Assassin's Creed Valhalla running on the PC, and they all look like dog shit or ran like dog shit, that's killing them. Not Ratchet and Clank and not these new graphics cards. And I had said over a year ago, that based on customer loyalty, next generation, the score is going to be PlayStation 5 100 million, Xbox Series X 30 million, just on customer loyalty. I didn't say that based on what kind of content they were going to provide, or what direction Microsoft might be going in, or what direction Sony might be going in. I made that prediction, or I made that call strictly on customer loyalty. Just on customer loyalty alone, and that recent poll proves it. That recent poll that was taken as to what people are going to prefer, the Series X or the PlayStation 5, it was an overwhelming 83% for the PS5 against 17% for the Xbox Series X. That alone coincides with what I said about a year ago. Based on customer loyalty, the score will be PlayStation 5 100 million, Xbox Series X 30 million. This shit was over before it started. A year ago. I said that shit over a year ago, that whatever new Xbox they're coming out with would be DOA. Tantrum, great tantrum. You said no innovation, no forward thinking, no pushing the industry forward. Xbox Series X has got nothing. Microsoft is more focused on PC and Game Pass. Yeah, absolutely. Also, you said, by the way, are you getting a 30 series card, Lincoln? Yeah, this is the way I started my you kind of late, great tantrum, but to put it in a nutshell, originally I was not going to get any of these new graphics cards because I'm more than happy with my PC. But I think because of what's going to happen in the future with the Unreal Engine 5, how the Unreal Engine 5 is going to allow developers to build a game only once and they can scale it up or down for whatever platform they're moving it to. That's going to, from the VR aspect of it, that's going to be all the more reason to want to get one of these new graphics cards, because you won't have a situation where you buy the game on PCVR and you can see that it was a Quest port, and they didn't do a very good job of it, because they didn't want to do the extra work to bring the visuals up to what PC should be. So with that being said, once Unreal 5 is out there, that's going to be all the more reason to want to get one of these new graphics cards. Because no matter what platform you are playing on, I think the games are going to be fully optimized for whatever platform you're playing it on. So once Unreal Engine 5 hits, whether you're on the Quest, PlayStation VR, or PC, you're going to get the best version of those games. And from the PC side of it, again, that's going to be all the more reason to get one of these new graphics cards. So with that being said, as far as me, I'm looking to go one of two routes. I did some research. Now the 3090, there's no way it's going to fit inside my Alienware, because from what I'm hearing, the 3090 is taller than the Xbox Series X. I'm hearing that that's a pretty tall graphics card. Also did some research, and it turns out that, at least from what I've seen on these Reddit posts, I probably won't have to do, upgrade anything else inside my PC if I was to go with the 3070. Because, with the 3070, you're talking their bottom of the line graphics card at 20 teraflops, the bottom of the line card. And the 2070 inside my Alienware is 9.2 teraflops. So me jumping up to the bottom card of these 3000 series would be a huge jump. So with that being said, I'm looking to go one of two routes. I'm looking to either upgrade the graphics card in my Alienware PC to a 3070, and then I'll give the 2070 that's inside my PC right now, I would give it to my son, or I'll just start from the ground up and just build a new PC myself. Not buy a pre-built one, build it myself, and decide which one of these graphics cards that I would want to go with. If I decide to build a PC from the ground up, I'm either going to go with the 3080 or the 3090. And then that way, building a PC from the ground up, I can build parts that I know for a fact will be compatible with these cards. So the first time I boot it up, it'll be ready to go, and I won't have to try to figure out why this shit ain't running right. So bottom line is, that's the route I'm going to go. At some point, it may not happen until sometime next year. I would either put a 3070 in my Alienware or just build a PC from the ground up using the 3080 or the 3090. So, and if I build a PC from the ground up using the 3080 or the 3090, then I would just give my son my Alienware PC. So I said that before. Whichever route I decide to take, my son is going to get the hand-me-downs from it, because whatever I hand down to him is going to be better than what he's got. So, Robert McLeod, you said PS5 100 million, Xbox Series X 10 million with a LOL. Tantrum, you said yeah, DLSS 2.1 now supports VR. And Robert McLeod, I have HP Omen, so no upgrading ever needed until and it runs games perfect. I mean, I don't need to upgrade. But I said this earlier in this podcast a couple of weeks ago. I went to Best Buy and looked up the price of the RTX 2070 that's in my PC right now, and that card was $500. So and I don't think I checked the price of the 2080 Ti, but I know at the time it was significantly more than the 2070. So I think I didn't even bother looking it up. But now that these new 3000 cards are out, I'm seeing posts on Twitter of, people talking about dumping their 2080 Ti's now. Like, either somebody's talking about selling their 2080 Ti, or somebody's making a meme about getting rid of their 2080 Ti. So the way things are sitting right now, the only way I would buy a 2080 Ti is if somebody were to sell it for $200 or $300. Otherwise, at the very least, I would put a 3070 in my Alienware and go with that. So But I do want to thank everybody who's here. I definitely appreciate it. It's Friday. I hope your day's going good, and I'm off till Wednesday, so I'm definitely going to enjoy this day. I'm going to get some gaming in, but I'm also going to get out and enjoy the day. Get out and go wash my car and just go for a ride. Go get some ice cold mineral water. Just open the roof and just take a ride. Just enjoy the day. But I'm definitely going to get some gaming in today. Make no question about it. Also, sometime today, I think I'm going to do another stream of House Flipper VR because, honestly speaking, I talked about this before. The first time I never really saw the game, but I listen to Sick Humor. I like his content, and he's usually going live while I'm at work. So his streams take up a big chunk of my day while I'm at work, because when he goes live, those streams can last anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. So one time, I think while I was at work, he was playing a House Flipper VR, and I know not House Flipper VR, House Flipper. So when I found out the House Flipper VR was coming, it's already out on the Oculus Quest, but it's coming to PC VR September 15th, I believe, the day before the Facebook Connect. So my original plan was to go ahead and get it on PC, but when I found out it was already out on the Oculus Quest, I was like, let me go ahead and buy it. Not only that, Oculus sent me a $10 credit. So House Flipper VR only cost me $5. So I went ahead and got it, and I played it for a minute. And I would like to thank everybody who did tune in and watch that stream. It really surprised me. I think it's up to like 73 views right now, and I was shocked. Because I only expected it to get like 20 views or something like that, especially with this being a VR game. Because some of my VR streams, some of them don't get that many views, so to me, like, with my channel being so small, 100 views or more on a game stream, is good for me. But in any case, the game got it's sitting on about 73 views, which I was a little bit surprised. But I will say this. I like the game more than I thought I would. Apparently with the game, you start out as like a contracted cleaner with people, where you take jobs and you go in and you either clean up a mess or you do some work, and I think as you complete these jobs, you get paid. And I think I'm under the impression that the goal of this game is to eventually buy houses, renovate them, and then flip them. Right now, I've completed a couple of jobs, and as I complete jobs, I get more. It looks like I'm getting more tools to help me, clean up and stuff like that. So, short story long, I like the game more than I thought I would, and I think I'll stream it again today. Because I do want to try to get to the point where I could eventually have enough money to buy a house and start, trying to tear it up, gut the house, and try to flip it and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know what else I might stream, because I've been kind of dark these last couple of weeks. I haven't really been doing much. So, Great Tantrum, you said the poor souls who recently bought an RTX 2080. Damn, you ain't bullshitting about that, Great Tantrum. Because I'm under the impression that anybody who bought a RTX 2080 Ti probably spent around $1,000 on it. That's I don't know what they costed. But now that these new cards are out, the RTX 3070 being $500, that to me, it sounds to me like that shit pretty much, these new cards have pretty much made the 2080 Ti next to worthless. I don't even know that much about PCs. I know basic shit, but I'm no Mark Cerny. But I don't have to be Mark Cerny to know that if I'm getting ready to buy a 3070 if you want me to take that 2080 Ti off your hands, you're gonna have to make me a deal that I can't refuse. I don't have to be a genius to know that. So you said RTX 2080 Ti is 1200. Oh my god, man! And for another what? For that same price, you can get that 3090. And I forgot how many T-flops they said that 3090 is, but that 3070 is 20 T-flops. So, damn. Robert McLeod, you said rather spend $500 on PS5 than buy new PC hardware that I do not even need. Yeah, I get it. But I'm just going by what I'm seeing. I've seen Twitter posts where people were pretty much saying that if Sony and Microsoft don't get up off their ass and give us a date and give us a price and get these pre-orders going, that they might just go ahead and buy one of these new cards and upgrade their PC. Now, as far as the PlayStation goes, that might not have that much of an effect on sales, but I think it'll definitely impact the Xbox. It'll definitely hurt them. You know, if you already have a decent gaming PC and you were in the middle of the road about getting an Xbox Series X, I think these new graphics card comes out, just tip the needle all the way over here, and people gonna be like, fuck that Series X. They're gonna go ahead and get that card. Let me see, Robert. You said only 1,200. I want to see. Said only 1,200. I want to see is the stimulus check. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely got a lot of plans money-wise. I definitely got plans over these next year or two. And that stimulus check is definitely needed. Because, you know, on the VR side of things, on the gaming side of things, I either want to upgrade my PC or build a new one from the ground up. I'm strongly considering getting that HP Reverb G2, the 4K resolution, because I would love to see my VR racing sims in 4K through a VR headset. And I have to start getting ready for my son here pretty soon, because I've been, you know, he's you know, he'll be 15 next May. And if the laws are still the same, and at 15 years old, my son can start taking driver's training. So I've already been talking to him about cars, and, you know, trying to give him a choice of, you know, I'll more than likely I'll either give him my Acura or we'll find something for him that he might like. So with that being said, I got money wise, you know, I've got a few things that I've got to do over the next couple of years, and that because of that I've got to make some sacrifices. I can't go needlessly spending money anymore, buying shit that I know I'm not gonna use. And something like that, you know, something like me buying an Xbox Series X would be the most imbecilic purchase I would have ever made as far as gaming goes. So, Robert McLeod, you said, I just want to pay bills. Great Tantrum, can you imagine 2 RTX 3090s and NVLink with the latest Ryzen CPU? Can I imagine it? I could, but I would never be able to truly grasp the impact that it would have, because I'm already salivating, you know, from jumping from a 2070 to a 3070. So, hell, like me talking about upgrading to a 3070, you know, the real PC Master Race people might call me a bottom feeder for trying to go after a 3070. um, Robert McLeod, I have an Xbox S. I do not need to upgrade. I've got an Xbox. I've got an Xbox One S, and the only reason why I even still have an Xbox is, so I could play Gears of War with my son. But my son doesn't really even play Gears of War like that. Not like he used to, because he spends most of his time playing VR chat. So I already told my son that once the Xbox Live, I have a year membership that just renewed a couple of months ago. So I explained to my son that once this 1 year membership on this Xbox expires, I'm selling that Xbox One S and totally exiting the Xbox ecosystem as far as the console goes. So DJ, he said, I have an Xbox One, aka the DVD player. Yeah, you could really knock the shit out of somebody with one of those things if you hit them over the head with it. And you could put them to sleep for a couple of days. So, what time we got? 11:30. Well, I guess it'll be pretty soon. I'm gonna have to grab some lunch and get ready to start enjoying my weekend. You have to watch movies and to play SOD2. That's it. So what? I had to think about that. It's like SOD2. What the State of Decay? What? Robert, man. Come on, man. Robert McLeod, right now, man. Come on, man. A fish sandwich is worth more than an Xbox right now. Come on, man. So, when it comes time for me to get rid of that Xbox One S, I probably won't even bother trying to sell it because it ain't gonna be worth shit. I'll probably just give it to one of my cousins or something like that that don't have a headset. You said my keyboard is so heavy it can knock somebody out. Come on, man. It's like, I use my Xbox to watch YouTube and Twitch. Once in a while, I'll play Star Wars Battlefront 2 on it. But straight up, Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the Xbox One S versus how it looks on the PlayStation Pro, it looks like dog shit. Same thing with the Gears of War games. You can clearly tell the difference in how the game looks on the Xbox One S versus how it looks on PC or the Xbox One X. A whole world of difference. Total dog shit on the One S. So, I think it's about time for me to grab a bite to eat and get ready to enjoy this weekend. Shout out to all my YouTube friends. Shout out to the round table. Big shout out to my friend 7 Degrees of Gaming, Nat, who had me as a guest on his show, Looking for Unicorns. Last weekend, I really enjoyed doing that show. And for those of you that subscribe to the round table, you know that hopefully you know that the round table merch is coming. So definitely check it out. I don't know how Thrash is going to go about doing that. If he'll set up a store or I don't know how that's going to work out, but definitely pick up some round table merch. I seen the first thing from it. We got a Do What You Do hoodie. definitely check that out. And once the dust settles and stuff like that, you know, I'm definitely gonna grab one myself. So, GG Lincoln, take care, everyone. We'll have a mech keyboard. Well, I have a mech keyboard. Why it's so heavy? Oh shit. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about now. You could crack that shit over somebody's head and it won't even bend. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. And even though I will be doing live from Wakanda for another week or two, you know, nothing's changed there. Live from Wakanda. Long live King T'Challa. He will be missed. He's going to see the Panther Gods, and that's gonna do it for me. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Y'all have a